old
It's
one.
L&A. L&A
Used to be
talks.
coffee talk with
Coffee talk.
L&A.
Right. I'm talking L&A. All right. So welcome to the first established podcast in our new home. And just to let you know, the camera's right there in front of us.
Oh, thank you.
Don't look
Thank
at the
screen. My bad.
Looks like a silencer.
It's hard not to look at yourself, though. All right.
You would say that.
I'm just being honest.
All right. Do you want to see if this actually records well before we get going?
No.
We'll just stop it.
Fuck it. Let's do it. Raw. What I said. #raw. Let's go.
What if it doesn't even capture our voices?
Well, then they're just going to have to lip read. We'll put captions on it.
Captions. Okay. All right. So we're going to keep these short, 10 minutes, to the point where I am going to literally put my stopwatch on so that we are not going to go over 10 minutes.
If you know Anthony, he's a talker, so we're going to keep it to 10 minutes.
Yeah, because, time is valuable. It's the number one thing that we can never get enough of, and it's something that we can never get back. Right? Is that the line?
That's a good line.
Did that actually make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like I heard that on a fortune cookie one time. All right, time. The most valuable thing you could ever give somebody is your time. So for the fact that you guys are here, it honestly means the world to us. So if you can just hit the like, subscribe button and all those dingy bells that you might have so that we can add some subscribers and keep this channel going, that would be greatly appreciated. So thank you. Whether you are listening to this on YouTube or Spotify or anywhere that you might be listening to your podcast, welcome to L&A Talks or Coffee Talks. We still haven't yet made a title yet.
Nope.
But the number one thing is it's exactly what we are doing. You got to start with a why. Like, why are we even doing this right now? Why are we doing it raw? Why are we not?
It's not just because we like to hear ourselves talk.
No, not at all. It's because we said we were going to do it, right? We said part of the business, part of like why we started Stack Trax, why we wanted to get into business designing a product was to be able to help people, to literally serve and to give back as much as we can. And, from us being coaches, we realize that, our voice and our ideas and our thoughts and the listening aspect of what we can do through podcasting can help others. And that's what we want to achieve here is the more that Stack Trax and the product line and all the partners that we work with, as much as it grows and we team up with people, the more we're able to help and serve others like yourself, where you can come in here, check in with that daily dose of L&A, or, get that coffee talk with L&A in the morning to wake your butt up, to motivate you, or to even kind of wind you down to prep up or reflect for the day. That's why we're here. And that's why we want you to listen. And it's why we're starting 001 with a raw, unedited version of our podcast and our talk. And the number one thing we believe, and of course, Lindsey can correct me if I am wrong, but what we talk about to a lot of our clients, whether they were the ones who we were coaching or ones that we talk to or meet every day that we've been very fortunate to do nowadays, is to start with a why. You have to have that vision, that purpose, that drive that is going to wake you up in the morning.
And it has to be strong enough to keep you going. That's the important part. Is you might not know what your why is right now, and it might be a couple things, but as you move forward within your journey, you will find what that deeper why is. So if you can't figure it out right now, or if you have a couple reasons, that's okay, but really try to reflect on that deep-rooted reason of why it is what it is that you want to do.
Yeah. And you don't have to be perfect, right? It's these lines, it's these little tidbits of notes that you can take, that you do not want to let perfection get in the way of progress. So understand that we have issues that we just have to be perfect. It has to be the perfect time. It has to be the perfect temperature. It has to be perfect for you to get started. But the problem with is if you don't get started, then you'll never know how great things can be if you're waiting for things to be perfect, because they never will be ever.
Yeah. And a good example of this, and we fall victim to this, is like, we don't have time to work out, right? We only have maybe 10 minutes to work out. And we're like, what's 10 minutes going to do? And then we started realizing when we did have 10 minutes, we got something in and we were consistent with it. And something is always better than nothing. So don't ever let the excuse of I don't have time get in the way of your progress. Just like you said, if you have 10 minutes to work out, move for 10 minutes. That's going to be better than making the excuse, well, I'll do it tomorrow when I have enough time. Don't let that be an excuse.
Yeah, no excuses here, right? So the fact of the matter too is like Steve Jobs, just heard this the other day too. He said that you need to have that passion and perseverance to do something that is going to grind you right forward, just like how we talked about that why. And it has to be stronger than your excuses that Lindsey just mentioned. And the reason for that, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's you starting a new job, whether it's you, quitting your job to start a business, creating a product like we did with Snack Tracks, any rational person with that idea would quit, right? Because it is so hard. And that's the whole thing. When you're trying to lose 50 pounds or even 5 pounds or just getting started with something new, it is going to be hard. And most people don't have the perseverance or the passion enough to stay with it. And that's the problem. Why, if your why isn't strong enough, you are and will inevitably fail. And it's because there are going to be tough roads ahead. And if you are any rational person would give up, and you have to be irrational, you have to go after it. You have to understand that most people are going to laugh at you. Most people are going to tell you you can't do it. Yourself, you're going to tell you can't do it. And sometimes the only nice things you hear about yourself all day will be the things you tell yourself in the mirror. And that's honestly true, because the reality is nobody cares about your success more so than you. Your mom might say she does. Your dad might say she does. Your significant other right here might say she does. But the reality is, when push comes to shove, if you are not in the same mindset as that other person, their dream is going to be different than your dream. And when you find someone that has the same dream as you, guess what you do? You get married to them. You move in with them. You start a product with them. And then you eventually get them pregnant so that they always have to stay with you. Yes. And
so what I want to say about the why, because it's really important.
Well, you got to let them know that you are pregnant. Just in case they're not watching this and they're just listening. They're like, why did Anthony just say that you got to get someone pregnant?
I am pregnant.
Yeah, right now you're halfway through your pregnancy. We're super excited. So this is dating this right now. So in the summer of 2022, which is awesome. And I'm just the happiest man. We got married this year. I just want people to realize that,
there's a lot of shit that's happened this year. And that's why the why is really important, because it is always, think of it as always being your base. It is your base. So when you lose focus, when you lose motivation, you always have to come back to that why. And it might change throughout the process, but in order for you to start, you have to have that strong why. And that's why we talk about the 4 R's. And we'll get into that in another podcast. But you have to constantly be reflecting on your why, because it may change. But as long as you stay consistent with it, you'll succeed.
Yeah. And reflect on it.
It's really that simple. We just don't have the perseverance and resilience to power through.
Yeah. And I believe that is really a great segue into our really next topic of discussion, which will happen on our next podcast, which really is that CCA that we've talked about numerous times in our coaching career. But now with Snack Tracks and the new L&A talks and everything that we're going to be talking about, always starts with a why. And it really comes back down to the CCA, which is consistency, commitment, and accountability, which is exactly where we're going to be going. And you're going to travel through this journey with us. And we're going to talk about many different topics. But I think that is really a good place to stop, is just take some time today, try to just sit with yourself, maybe ask some others. But at the end of the day, come up with your why, come up with your drive and your purpose and your focus statement, your motto of what is going to keep you moving forward even when you don't want to. And that is
punch
a
success.
In the
stomach.
Yes, exactly. When you can look up, you can get up. And so the reality is,
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
Wow. I thought I was the dork. See, people will soon learn that I am a dork. And yes, we are saying under 10 minutes, Miss Linz. And that's why we're going to finish it right here. So thank you guys so much for joining in on this quick and always quick and fast and effective L&A talks that gets right to the point. We land our plane and you guys get on with your day. So again, thank you guys so much for giving us your time. Again, the most valuable thing.
Anthony has a hard time ending things. So we'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.
Stack track it up.